Okay, this is the impressive part. Well, first impressive part, should I say, of the operation. So that's exposing the ramp now, as you can see. Don't look like they're strong enough, those rams, do they? But they are, trust me, they are. So they've got some plates. I think the rear, I think the specifications, here we go. Air screws possibly.
remembered actually that in terms of live, that's an interesting thing that we're going to see this whole thing unfold literally right in front of your eyes, folks. It's a fascinating thing to watch, and that couldn't figure out what that was before, could we, when we saw it last time? Thought it was for the mail or something like that. Wow. Of course, these, each and every one of these crew members got family back at home. Some of them in very dire circumstances. Hello, how are you? Good. You with Antonov, yeah? I'm Jerry from Big Jet TV. Very nice to meet you. Take best part, I believe, the best part of an hour at least to get this whole system offloaded and then the ramp built. Giant Meccano set. That's what I was thinking of. Meccano. Of course, again, a big shout out to all of our friends at Antonov, Daniel at WFS as well, and Alex, who's here with ACE. Is it? There's so many names involved in the operation. Let me just have a quick look here, because they do deserve a lot of shout outs. ACE, Airline Cargo Express, they are handling it on behalf of ACS in the UK, and WFS are also involved, and that's who's brought us out here airside. Thank you to Daniel, very kind of you to dedicate your time, especially on a weekend as well, folks. It's a Saturday, of course. Well, I think over there in the UK it's crazy o'clock in it. Well, actually not too bad, 22:11, so that's not too bad, is it? But so we should have it. If you're in the UK, we should have it by the time the clock strikes 12. We should have a significant amount of work completed, and that is in the UK, of course, not here. But I can imagine that these guys are going to be working through the next couple of hours flat out. That's what they do. That's what their skill set is. And 10 tons as well, those hoists. Pretty impressive, man. It's an airport, isn't it? Disarm it. So now this is interesting. Yes, okay, I can probably... Okay, now this is interesting. This is now this is what they did before. That's why, remember when I said earlier on they're going to put some plates underneath those pads, those pressure pads there. I think these are now going to go to raise the ramp slightly. That's why it's not being closed. Strategically positioned because they need to basically lift it back up again. Raised for supporting Ukraine, folks. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. You are wonderful. Okay, so now they're going to be raised, and then in order to increase the height of the ramp, they will place these pods underneath, by the looks of it. To install the equipment, you need to remove part of the ramp, Alex saying. Okay, what are they talking about? Removing those pads altogether? Are they uninstalling? Doesn't look like it. They've looks like that's been. I think they're just changing the angle potentially, and then they're going to let the ramp sit down on those pods that you can see there. Here it comes now. On film. It's movie night. Leveling it up. This is critical right now is making sure that everything is level, because you don't want this whole assembly being even slightly off in terms of the angle when the sled is eventually put into place. So Alex Assa sounds like he's, yeah, he knows his stuff. Now the technicians will install special guides. They have rollers. Yeah, these are obviously can be adjusted on their own spindles. Now what is interesting is that the those rear ones are now redundant by the looks of it. Interestingly enough, so all the major weight will be put onto the. Now out comes the ramp system once again. Ooh, he's gone a bit. He's had his ready brek this morning, hasn't he? Blimey. What's that all about then? Yeah. No, he's just had a lot of ready brek. I don't know if that is because of... let me just move this over here, see if it makes any difference. So I'm getting quite a lot of light pop. Yes, that's what it is, mate. That's what it is. Yeah, yeah, that's what it is. Let's just see if this side is any better. Not really, in terms of lighting. Don't make me angry. You wouldn't like me when I'm angry. See, the ramp is being literally extended now. Well, when I say extended, the height of it is going right up, because these tracks will now replace the ramp parts that we saw earlier on. To be honest with you, all I need to do is just have them so that they bite onto those discs. Not sure what he's planning to do with that. It's not a rain on this one. We do have relative required. Already starting to disassemble that system there. Final supports going into place now. I think these ones are possibly oh, they are spun. No, they are spinners, yeah. Hello everybody, hope you're doing well. Wherever you're tuning in from, well, there's Randy Bushbout. He's in the US. I know I shouldn't mention it, but Randy, I would be very, very careful about what. Don't phone. It's the only thing I. Yeah, do not make that call, Randy. Is all I can suggest. In Wisconsin, folks, the heat exchanger was manufactured. Get the gauge right, then you just lay down the tracks. Neil in Dorset, he's right, you know. That is literally it. Once you've got your distance, your spacing between the two sets of tracks, based on what the track system is that is on the heat exchanger itself, or on the cargo itself. And then the last piece should all fall into place. Bosh. There it is. Okay, so effective. So now they're going to extend that all the way up into the middle of the aircraft. Obviously, weights and balance have been extensively checked. They'll have a loading cargo sheet which will show all the lashing points as well. It's very important. They don't just throw a load of chains over the skids and then and lash it down. It's strategically lashed down. I think it's the best way. Using those hoists. Back doors, by the looks of it, I think that's the back door coming down, is it? The loading ramp at the back being opened up. So now they're going to use hoists to, this is obviously a piece of the fabricated steel for the skids for the framework to sit on. Possibly an extension of it, I'm not sure. But they're closing it up. That's pretty cool actually, you get to see that. Obviously not going to do that just yet. Your ground power unit operating the electrical and hydraulic systems, I think. Technicians will install the second part of the system. The good thing is that that's literally at height adjustable, of course, using the So this thing that we were talking about earlier on, folks, with the wing, supercritical airfoil is what we were talking about with the wing of this aircraft, and I think, to be honest with you, that almost all wings, especially those designed for these are obviously for transonic. I think it's transonic speed. Then you have supersonic speed as well. It's an aerofoil designed primarily to delay the onset of wave drag in a transonic speed range. So therefore controlling the airflow above and below the wing. Conventional and supercritical airfoils. So I think this is a supercritical airfoil. There are obviously conventional type, which doesn't have that sort of like it has a sort of like the back end of it, the back end of the wing has a sort of a graft out of it, which is quite interesting, characterized by their flattened upper surface, highly cambered downward curve aft section and larger leading edge radius. And when we talk about leading edge radius, of course, we're talking about that there, and that is ginormous, that leading edge there. Obviously is all relative. It's all relative to it's interesting that the oh, okay, so now they're gonna lift these up. So they're going to, obviously, with the help of the forklift, they'll lift that up, put it in, get it level, and then adjust the feet. Obviously enjoying this quite come some way since it got here, folks. Screaming music there. Lucy, can you imagine how much money it costs to use the services of this company? Yeah. Well, then you've got the brokers as well as the agents, all in it together. Costs a lot of money just to shift any piece of freight. To be honest with you, even conventionally, on a conventional freighter aircraft like a 767, or even a piece of freight on a passenger service jet. Arrow. The plane wasn't so darn impressive. We could talk about those monster 18-wheel trucks. Yeah. They are well. The crane is pretty impressive. I guess Rich, Big Rich. Ross Gin will be waiting for his part to play his part in this operation in terms of the crane. But I think we're still some ways off of that, folks. Simon lie. Yes, absolutely. It is expensive, but like he says, these guys are the only guys when it comes to moving outside freight. You would not be able to get this thing inside a 747. Even through the nose, the dimensions wouldn't allow it. But also, the other critical thing to remember is that the 747 can only take up to a certain tonnage in terms of a single piece, that is obviously putting it in the center of the aircraft. So that's why these jets are used for the heavy lift stuff. Those sorts of things is it sounds great, but it sounds great, but it doesn't look as impressive, because when they transport these exotic components like monster trucks or Formula 1 cars or anything, generally they're all boxed up in crates, and you don't generally get to see the vehicles themselves. The wheels will be off, partially dismantled, so it will look more or less like standardized freight. I'm going to have to move myself here because I think I'm going to be in the way shortly, because there are going to be the leading edge part of this freight, this ramp system. So that's another quite lengthy procedure, and then we will be back tomorrow morning to catch the start-up, the taxi, and departure of the aircraft. Now, it is a lottery as to exactly where. Here she goes. Here we go. Do you know what I'm going to do quickly? I think I prefer the big idea. I know it sounds crazy, but you'll know what I'm talking about when I... Nice steps! Just got a better shot there. Expensive business, that's why they get it done quick. Well, they've been here all bleeding day, to be honest with you. Okay, so I think this guy's pulling the reckon they're going to get that in there pretty quick, because the pads that they are, or the plates that they're settling her down on, are obviously running on those runners, on those rollers. Now this is quite critical right now in terms of positioning it on those plates. Alignment is what it's all about. That thing's got to go in straight. She's down. I think she's down. Now these, the crew will attach the pulleys, a couple of cables literally, to the oh no, she's still in the air. So just a slight adjustment, because you don't want any overhang or anything crazy like that. And like I say, that base plate assembly, which has been made specifically for this piece of cargo, will be recycled. She's down. You see, I don't know if I'm not seeing any slack at this point in time. But a very simple cable system will now be attached, and she will be hoisted up. It's impressive, isn't it, that only a very small portion of the crane's reach has been used. See how much that can extend. God knows how many feet, but It's an impressive piece of equipment, that's for sure. Okay, slack coming off. Weight is now fully on the ramp, 35 tons being held up by that ramp system, which again you have to appreciate how impressive that is. Ready to take up the slack on the cables and start hoisting this thing in. Weight is 72,000. I'm guessing that's 72,000 pounds. Is that right? Is that to? Yeah. Look at that. Look how smoothly that thing slides. Wow. That's impressive. That's really impressive. What about you? Mine's his only mine. Park that right there, or is he going to pull that further forward? Further forward, keep it coming forward there. Good man. Thank you, sir. Easy does it. So I'm guessing what basically happens inside that heat exchanger will be hot fluids or whatever they might be enter at one end, and it's cooled through baffles internally within the structure, and then it comes out at the other end cool, I'm guessing. Is that right? My take on a heat exchanger. Basically it turns hot element into a cool element. Would that be right? Probably completely wrong. Lots of people still here enjoying the footage. Good to see you folks. Glad you enjoyed it. Got a great shot this morning earlier on of the aircraft as it arrived into gate. It was or onto the pad. It was fantastic, and again got to say a big shout out to WFS and Daniel for getting us out here. Of course Alex, who's part of the crew as well, looking after it for the folks in the UK. Alex, of course, from Airline Cargo Express, and ACS, who are the folks that you can see down there on your screen, the brokers handling this whole putting this whole thing together for the client. Coordination, logistics, and those guys, if you look them up, they've done some quite crazy stuff as well. I think they was something to do with the Iron Maiden 747, I believe. Have to confirm that, but I think they might have been involved in some way with Bruce Dickinson flying that 747 on the world tour. What did they call it? They called it Ed Force One, wasn't it? It's called Ed Force One. That was it. Had a collision with a ground unit or something like that. Damaged one of the cowlings, I believe, or just the maybe the leading edge cowl. I'm not sure. But anyway, yeah, those guys. Extensively involved in anything aviation related. If you're obviously us lot, we're not lucky enough to have enough money to go on a private jet. But if you have, those guys are all over it. They know their stuff. Get you from A to B in your luxury jet. Luxury. Big project as well. I mean, they would have been amongst others who would have been contending for this particular operation, but having the heritage that they have, as have WFS, to be honest with you, in terms of handling and operational handling agents. I think that's what they're let's just have a look here, because I see them a lot at London Heathrow. We do see their vehicles a lot at Heathrow. Worldwide freight services, global air cargo logistics leader, and the #1 global operator in cargo handling. That's what they're saying on their website. So again, we do see them quite a lot. So interesting that they're taking up the slack here. They're going to pull her in a little bit more. Obviously those ties there have been basically, as soon as these guys with the vehicles are on their way out, we're going to leave as well, folks. Was I right on the heat exchanger? Let's just see if I've got something to work so far. Yeah. Arrow, been watching Big Jet for so many hours and still not my bedtime. Haha. Stream. It's already very late in Kiev. I think everything will happen very quickly. I'm going to sleep. Alex, thank you very much indeed. May have missed you, my friend, unfortunately. Roncino, loving the show, midday here in Brisbane. Great way to spend a Sunday. Wow, how about that? Actually looks quite tiny, doesn't it? Kevin Fisher, it's like a car radiator. Okay. So it basically cools the water. Superfly stream stairs. 8K Terradeck Virginia. Stephen Remy, thank you. Carlos. Martin Smith. LA girl. Sigint, I think it is. Thank you very much indeed, Sigint. Hot to cool or cool to hot, either way, Jay Savvy. Thank you. So I was right. Page Laros, here we go. Glacial speed. I think it's a bit faster than that, mate, but I know what you mean. Glacial speed. Alex, now the technicians will temporarily moor the cargo. This is necessary to move the winch and continue loading. Ah, I'm with you. I'm with you. Right. Well, we are nearly done, folks. That's part one. Again, thank you to everybody involved. Umbilical set release. Okay, we'll have a little inspection, a little walk around of the aircraft. Now this is the tow hitch that they use. This is unique to the AN124, as you can appreciate, with the twin front wheel assembly. They do obviously need to have the twin arm assembly, so that's why this is going in the back of the aeroplane as well.
All the power units are on. Doors are open. Oh, it's nice and warm, that air. Oh yeah.